Sadly, it's for the last time, but it is for the men's super heavyweight championship of the world, and these are the contenders, including, as you can see there, Matthias Steiner of Germany, the reigning Olympic champion. Well, Iran, Ukraine, Latvia, Russia, Korea, Germany, all represented here. There's Steiner and his body weight as he and everybody else weighed in just in the last couple of hours. Well, this super heavyweight class is always the traditional blue ribbon finale, and here we are with the contenders. Two men from Iran. This is Saeed Anushbiri, and he weighed in at 149.29 kilos. He's the lesser known of the two, but this particular Iranian is the junior world champion of last year, just 20 years of age. Representing the Ukraine, 24-year-old Igor Shimako, the European champion last season. And then it's Victor Skebard. He's no stranger to the super heavyweights. He's won the world title. The last time he did it, 2007 in Chiang Mai. Yevgeny Shigashev, the Olympic silver medalist, some would say the moral winner of the Olympics, so much lighter than Steiner, but Shigashev comes here as the reigning European champion. Almar Velagic of Germany is second string, but no slouch. He's been improving over the last seasons, and he has a European silver medal to his credit. This is An Yong Kwon for Korea, the defending champion, the man who was consistent in Goyang a year ago. Artem Udashin for the Ukraine, the runner-up in last year's World Championships to the Korean. And then it's Yeon Sang Gwen. Interesting to see what he does, because the last time we saw him was in Beijing and he failed to make a total on that occasion. And here is the Olympic champion, Matthias Steiner. Came back into the competition world in April in Minsk and picked up the bronze medal. And Andrei Kozlov for Russia, he was in the top 10 in the World Championships in Goyang a year ago. Well, they're to come, but this man has already been in action in the B group earlier today. And as you've seen all week, we've brought you these pictures of the men who put up the best performances in the B group and, so to speak, lead with their weight in the clubhouse before the medal A finalists try to topple them. And this is Essian Atia of Egypt, who earlier today produced this lift in the first half of the competition, 190 kilos on the bar. And here alongside myself, David Goldstrom, is Randy Strossen for his assessment of this man's performance.
He's going to stand up now. Okay, good lift.
And that put him in command of the competition at halfway. But have a look at this.
Yes, never seen this before in 20 years of weightlifting. You know, some people don't really like the scorers who are sitting to his right. This is one way to give them a comment.
And believe it or not, there were 228 kilos on that bar when that bar, or the lock on it, became unlocked, and he had to go back and try this as a second attempt again. He did it, as you can see, 228, hurting his back in the process. 418 is the total he achieved, and he's the man who leads at the moment, 418 kilos, with that extraordinary thing which, as Randy said, we've never seen in over 20 years. So Victor, quite a popular personality back home.
I think he might be a member of the parliament, is he?
Well, unless they had a recent election.
You'd be the one telling me lost.
Very good indeed.
He's always been a very precise lifter. And I say workmanlike, and say as a compliment, a student of the left, up and down, produced the same mechanics, lift after lift. I can't even imagine how many snatches this man has done in his life. And I don't think he's naturally very flexible, which is a requirement for a good snatcher. He, among the top lifters, spends the most time of anyone I've seen just stretching, working his joints, got a trainer in there twisting him, contorting him, trying to loosen everything up. Nice lift.
And not too many red spots on the board.
Yeah, things are moving along well.
Kozlov now, and 195. So this would be 15 kilos up on last year in the Worlds.
Yeah, real progress.
And it would be, of course, 3 out of 3. Weighed in 147.69. So this would put him into silver medal position in the snatch, but still
not quite today.
No.
Wasn't high enough, drifting off to the left side a little bit too.
Shigashev and Shimako of the Ukraine still to start. With Udashin and Shimako, the Ukraine could have a couple of interesting players here. They've got a good tradition in super heavyweights in Ukraine.
Absolutely. In fact, we have Anatoly Pizzerenko sitting center row in the VIP section.
Yeah. So Matthias Steiner measured progress here, and this is just 2 kilos up for 196. And this tells you that this is the road to London. His work with Frank Mantek is all tuned towards regaining, or retaining, I should say, the Olympic title.
That was Michael Vader on the right, the assistant coach.
And if they pick up decent medals on the way, so be it. Ten seconds.
No, not even close. And Matthias, he recognized that, not even close. You almost wonder, did he celebrate the second attempt a little bit too much? It's easy to say that, of course, now that he's missed the third, but he was really elated after the second. Maybe should have contained a little bit of that emotion, but who am I to say that? He's the Olympic champion. Opened with 198 at the 2008 Olympics, again, just to kind of put this in perspective in terms of what his performance level is at this moment. Pulling, going under. I don't think he was fully committed to trying to lock that out either. I think he just kind of relaxed and said,
And you sort of know that whatever happens, by the time he gets to London, he's got to be well over 200 kilos.
Oh, yeah, he's got to be thinking 210, something like that. Even if he didn't quite hit that. He tried 207 in Beijing, and the snatch isn't the better of his 2 lefts.
So Igor Shimako of the Ukraine to open up. This is the first of his attempts, the world bronze medalist a year ago.
So right after we talk about an absence of reds, a nice string of successful lifts, we got a little string going now of missed lifts. It's going to happen, of course. Pulls, doesn't quite get the extension, moving over a little bit to his left, trying to save this. You can see that, bars out front. Succession of things, little errors that you don't want, little things going wrong that add up to a missed lift. Coaches and studying the board. This is in the warm-up room.
When you look at the past winners, well, since these weight categories in 1998 were established, Andrei Chemurkin, remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Russia won it in 98 and 99 with 437 and 57. And then it was Jabba Sahid Salem in 2001 here in Antalya, who took the title for Qatar.
Really Bulgarian?
Really Bulgarian, yeah.
Rented to Qatar.
And then we ran into the era of Hussein Razazadeh. 4 titles on the trot, 02, 03, 05, 06. And the best of one of those in terms of kilos, the first one, 472 in Warsaw. fat 40 72.5. Victor Skibatis in 2007 and An Yong Kwon last year. There's Dr. Thomas Ayan
on the left,
president of the International Weightlifting Federation,
conferring with Sam Kaffa.
Man who'll be busy at the Commonwealth Games very shortly. Now, Shimako to try and repair on 200.
Leaning over the left again, that was closer, clearly, but still no cigar on that.
So the second lifter who finds himself on the edge of jeopardy. And Shigishev, who said he was going to come in at about 202, and still looks the plan for Shigishev. Nothing's changed in that regard. Skibatis comes on for his third and final attempt.
The 200 kilo barrier, this is where we're really going to separate guys.
So the somewhat lighter, somewhat trimmer,
but and still,
somewhat older, but still so far very effective.
Yeah, maybe we should say experienced, not older. Very methodical, getting set up. Oh, look at this. That's what it should be. It's just like a piston, The bar should move as if it's on rails. I mentioned, he's very meticulous, methodical about getting set up, and that's how he executed the lift. You could see how smooth it was. So this was really great. Nice to see him do this.
Yeah, just a footnote. Last year, Randy, I remember with Victor, in Goyang where he ran into trouble, but he wasn't 100% well at that time.
Right.
So, that's a reasonable understanding for him.
Now the big boys are really coming out.
Victor Skibatis leads the way on 200. And next man in is going to be Artem Udashin on 201 kilos. So here's Mr. Udashin on 201 kilos, second attempt, 6 kilo increase, and this would be better for him than last year's World Championship 200 kilos. So this should be, on the evidence just of that first lift, that this should be well in terms of weight and strength within his ability. 25 seconds. He's in pretty good form. Just a couple of steps forward on the platform. No, nothing wrong with that. And Ukraine take the lead from Latvia. Matthias Steiner down to the bronze medal position, but he's lifting all done at the moment. And we're looking at a man who could well play a part in these World Championships in terms of going for a medal. That's Udashin. So now Shimako, real pressure here. Third attempt at 200 kilos, but in fact the bar at 201. He failed twice at 200, gave himself a momentary opportunity to recover by letting Udashin go for 201. And Shimako goes out of the competition. 3 failures in a row. And the world bronze medalist of last year, the European champion of last season, very disappointingly descending the steps off the platform there. No ranking points for his country and no overall medals either. Russia closing the championship strongly here, and here comes Yevgeny Shigashev. Beaten by Matthias Steiner at the Olympics by a kilo, but he's the man who's been in much better recent form, but still considerably lighter. And there's still one man who has yet to start after Shigashev, and that is the second of the Iranians, Behdad Salimi. So 202 kilos on the bar for the outright lead. Acknowledging a big bank of Russian fans just behind and to our right. If you've been with us during the week, you'll know that Antalya has a great number of Russians who are here on holiday. Most of them, I think, in the hotels that we and the athletes have been staying in. And it's not just the team members, but a lot of the holiday makers who've come here to see the likes of Shigashev. Well, from 31-year-old Shigashev to 20-year-old Behdad Salimi of Iran. And this is the man who, in training, snatched 208 kilos and clean and jerk 245. So he's a real player. On the left there, Hussein Razazadeh, 4 times world champion, Olympic champion, world record holder. Well, that just gives you a flavour of what we may be in for today. Weighed in at 162 kilos, way more. That's Shigashev's closest to 134, so if you call that about 28 kilos, the difference in this man's favour in just sheer weight, and he leads by a kilo at the moment. Udashin with one attempt to come as well. Udashin looking to come back in at 205. That's where we are now, 205 for Udashin. So Udashin, also one of the more experienced men here. Also one of the heavier men at 158, so you're looking at 348 kilos, around 24.5 stone. Well, he's looked absolutely superb. 205 kilos, and that is very good lifting. He may be at the heavier end of the weight class, but technically he's been absolutely excellent. So Udashin from the Ukraine now ahead of Behdad Salimi, but look at that. Absolutely confident about the weight, but technically a joy to watch. Really fixes it, really nails it. And now Shigashev to try and riposte. Shigashev with 2 attempts left, and also Behdad Salimi of Iran with 2 attempts left. So Shigishev now 207 kilos, so the 5 kilo increase. This is to take him to 207. Definitely game on here. So he's got plenty of support as well. So the bar going to 208 kilos now, 5 kilos up. And freeweight, this is just to get ahead of Shigishev by, and then both men will still have one attempt to go. Since his junior world success a year and a bit ago, he's added a bit more extra weight, about 8 or 9 kilos, up from 153 to 162. So this for the lead. Well, battle's really been joined here between Iran and Russia. No question about that, because these men are moving away. 208 kilos. So Udashin in third place on 205, Skibatis on 200, so 8 kilos separating the first four. And then there's a gap down to Matthias Steiner, who now at this particular moment is 14 kilos off the lead. So the bar going up even further for Shigishev, who's now going to try and turn the screw on the young Iranian. And the bar going to 210 kilos now. And this is only 3 kilos short of the world record of Hussein Razazadeh. So third and final attempt of Shigishev here. Razazadeh's snatch record of 213 has stood now for some 7 years. Shigishev at 210, his objective to get the advantage, to stay in the game, not worried about records. Can he hold on to this? Oh, it's a real struggle here. That is a brilliant recovery. Oh, and they're on their feet, as you can see. 3 white lights. I mean, that is real determination. Fantastic effort from Shigishev to make the adjustments when holding 210 kilos above your head. Have a look at it. Drives up here, but then starts to stagger a little bit. But that is really well done. Explosive, gets the bar overhead, drives up. As he does so, the effect of that 210 kilos really pushing him almost, well, pretty well to the limit. And 210, that's 5 kilos more than he lifted in the Europeans. It's exactly what he lifted in the Olympic Games. And now, arguably the young pretender, this new Iranian, new in terms of his attempt to mix it with the seniors, 211, much the heavier man, going for the snatch gold and a 1 kilo advantage to take into the break. So
2
Well, you could say that Shigashev and David Riggott got it right, because it is Shigashev, the experienced man, who prevails with 3 good attempts and takes a 2-kilo advantage into the second half of the competition. So at this moment in time, experience wins out over youth, Randy.
Absolutely. You know, Evgeny Shigashev, if there's a guy who can snatch, he is really on everybody's short list. But you know what, David? I think we had the realization of, you know, what we had hoped would happen. This great matchup, big lifts, they happened. Can't help but be pleased for Shigashev.
Yeah, and a really gutsy recovery from Shigashev, because he could have easily lost that.
Oh, yeah, adjusting in the bottom, moving his hips around, coming up very slowly and deliberately to not lose the weight at the last minute.
2-kilo advantage, he takes it.